Evening, everyone. Today is Monday, March 25th, 2019. We are here at the small meeting room in the library for our selected meeting, and because we do not have a flag in the room, we will bypass the Pledge of Allegiance. We will, of course, allow Westwood Media to record this meeting. Ask if anyone else wishes to record the meeting. Saying none. Okay, moving on to our scheduled action. We have a review of the annual town meeting warrant articles, of which we have to remove a few. So, we have a removal of an article. On Tuesday, March 19th, the planning board voted to withdraw the article related to the medical uses in its entirety. The planning board provided the knowledge to the Finance and Warrant Commission in a memo regarding this decision along with the revised language. So we are going to remove that article. Any discussion? Do I have a motion?
So this is the vote to remove the article titled zoning amendments related to medical uses.
Correct.
Sponsored by the planning board.
Yes. Do I have a motion to remove it?
I move that we remove the article titled zoning amendments related to medical uses sponsored by the planning board.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
We also have a discussion on the other articles and drafted language. At our meeting on March 18th, we made some changes to the warrant articles, including financial articles for capital and road improvement bond and community electricity aggregation. So we have to talk about the language for the TIF. And Dan, do you want to be heard on that?
Sure. You have in your packets a revised TIF article that now reflects input from Council for New England Development, the property owner, Council for Citizens, which will ultimately be the tenant in the New England Development affiliated ownership project, as well as from one of NEG's investors. The lawyers spent a lot of time talking about these articles over the last couple of weeks because we're trying to both give continuing validity to the 2007 TIF vote, which remains in effect. But we are not entirely sure what that effect means because of the statutory amendments that passed in 2016. So we've come to a consensus on what the article should say, and that's what you have in front of you. One of the changes that we made was to take out the reference to special tax assessments because the FinCom had expressed some concern about that, so we just took all of that out.
Because there's no case law on it.
It's brand new.
Yeah.
It's brand new. We don't need it. We're not looking at it. So what the article does now is it does two things. One is it grants the board broad authority to enter into TIFs with property owners for real estate development projects at University Station. It's limited to University Station. It also specifically authorizes the board to enter into a TIF with Citizens and/or University Station Phase 2, which is the ownership entity, for the TIF agreement that's outlined in the memorandum of understanding and the term sheet that you've previously seen.
So none of the terms have actually changed?
No, it really is all, it's belt and suspenders, quite frankly. I mean, part of what we did was put the findings that are in the statute in the article. The reason we did that is under the old statute, the Economic Advisory Council would make those findings. Under the new statute, it's not clear that the EACC makes them as opposed to the town making them. So we said, well, look, I mean, we put in everything we could.
Right, okay.
So Dan, I think you're trying to split the difference here. When you say the prior authorization remains in effect, what do you mean?
The 2007 TIF agreement, as amended in 2013, still authorizes a certified project at University Avenue. We are we are not certain, and we could not get a direct answer from the state with respect to whether you could move forward with a TIF agreement under those prior approvals. So that's why, we said, you see the language that's at the beginning, to the extent, feasible, to the extent still available. We want to try and keep that alive. But we also want to make crystal clear that we're asking for new authority.
Because we're not certain that we have authority.
I can't give you that opinion.
And then you said the second thing this warrant article does is gives town meeting approval of the citizens TIF.
Yep.
And maybe I'm missing it. I don't see that in the warrant article.
If you look, John, under B, if you go towards the,
Oh, the end of B. Okay.
yeah, such authorization shall include but is not limited to a TIF agreement with the University Station Phase 2 LLC and/or Citizens Bank, NA on file with the town clerk.
And when was that change made?
Last week.
Any particular day?
Excuse me?
Any particular day?
Middle part of the week. Yeah.
I didn't see an update, that's fine, just, I'm out of the loop, I guess.
Can you comment on why, again, that was specifically added? Because it is a change as noted.
The reason it was added was at the request, most specifically of citizens, because they want to be 100% sure that this provides specific authorization for the TIF agreement.
All right, so we have a motion to accept the,
So can I just ask one more question then?
Sure.
If we're going to specifically change this now, add citizens, why didn't we go with 2 warrant articles?
Because we started with one, and there was one that only provided broad authority to enter into TIFs.
a motion to accept the revised language for the article titled Authorization for University Avenue Tax Increment Financing. Any motion?
I just want to know what you're reading.
Sure. I don't know,
Back up here.
Has to go here. Sorry.
No, 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 no,
There
no.
it is, yes. There it is.
Is that motion acceptable? So I move that we vote to accept the revised language as presented to us by Council Bailey for the article titled Authorization for University Station.
University Avenue.
No,
No?
station.
I'll hold on that
University
motion.
Station, project area.
In the language, Dan, the very first line says to take certain actions relative to tax increment financing.
Okay, I was looking at something different. Yep. So what you're looking at, just to be crystal clear, is the revised TIF article that is, the starts at the top of page 9 of your packet.
Can you do me a favor, the way the article reads, did it fully remove the other element of the article we've previously been discussing? Because it reads to take certain actions relative to tax increment financing and special tax assessments. Should that be in it? Or was that the part that was removed?
I would recommend that you delete and special tax assessments.
So we need to make note of that with Finance Commission. So my motion is to, I move we vote to accept the revised and amended language as previously discussed this evening for the article titled Authorization for University Station Tax Increment Financing.
I'll second necessity. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
And so we kind of incorporated,
So we just have to make sure to note that the
Yes.
language that the Finance Commission is reviewing as that.
Okay. Well, we kind of combined renewal of annual town meeting and the TIF, so do we have any other articles in the town warrant that we need to address?
The community electricity aggregation, yes?
Yes.
Mike, is this suggesting that we need to update our votes, or, are we doing anything, any actionable item on the road improvement bond or community electricity aggregation, or is that,
No.
as discussed last week?
It's as discussed last week, and primarily for the Finance Commission, you need to have some modification of what you're gonna say to that, but
Okay.
Okay.
But not as far as that.
Is this the one on page 9? Back at page 23? So we need to redo this one?
No, we did it on
We
Monday.
did it last meeting.
meeting.
We did it last meeting.
Yeah, it's just different than what FinCom has seen.
Oh, got it.
They have it, it's just
They have it now, right?
you guys revised it on
Right,
Monday.
and they got it.
They got this version.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, do we have anything else? New business. All right. That's it. Right, I don't see anything else.
Is that it?
you need to re-execute you're on the town meeting one, you haven't moved on to the other issue. The other issue is you need to re-execute the updated memorandum
Okay.
of understanding.
All right, so, under the tax increment financing agreement with citizens, we are going to re-execute a memorandum of agreement that we had originally signed in February. The terms of the agreement have not changed. Dan, you want to tell us why we need to?
Fundamentally, the original agreement, on which we had no input from citizens, other than an indication that they wanted a positive, some sort of positive sign from the board that this was going to go forward, so we put together a quick memorandum of understanding. And we had been dealing, the signatory, everything we've been dealing with to that point, excuse me, had been Citizens Financial.
Yeah.
But when Citizens lawyers got it, they wanted to be signed in the name of Citizens Bank, N.A., which is the official name.
Right.
So what we did, and I said, well, would you accept a substitute signature page? No. For a bank, we really want it all on the same signature page. So you've got to change signature page that says Citizens Bank, N.A.
Any questions? Sticky, any questions?
No. Is that everything?
Motion?
Motion to adjourn?
No, not yet.
I move that we approve authorizing the board to re-execute the updated memorandum of understanding to include reference to Citizens Bank N.A., and that we sign the revised agreement.
I'll second on necessity. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed.
Okay, thank you, Steve. All right, that's all the business we have at this hour. We are adjourning into the FinCom meeting this evening. Sure. Thank you. John just brought it to my attention, we did want to make note of the passing of Jill Onderdunk, Town Housing Authority for 17 years, just recently passed away over the weekend, so we did want to at least take a minute of silence and send our condolences to the family. Thank you. So we will be adjourning into the FinCom meeting. Our next meeting is scheduled for April 8th, thank you, 7:30 in the police station. Motion to adjourn into the FinCom.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. We will be adjourning immediately following the FinCom meeting. We'll see you on Monday, April 8th. Thank you.
Good night.